Good morning. Our reading today is John's story of the wedding at Cana, where Jesus changes water into fine wine. On the surface, this story would appear to be witness to Jesus' first physical miracle, but there is much more to this story. John, more than Mark, Matthew, and Luke, writes his gospel filled with symbolism and metaphor. We know this because John refers to Jesus almost entirely in metaphor. The bread of life, the Lamb of God, the light of the world, the true vine, to name just a few. Because of the way John tells Jesus' story, it is important to pay attention to the symbolism and not just the facts of the story. John begins Jesus' mission almost as a foreshadow of the end of Jesus' life. On the first day, John 1:35-42, John calls Jesus the Lamb of God. This symbol is the one most often associated with Jesus' crucifixion. In this passage, Jesus responds to those wondering if he is the one by inviting them to come and see. It is a challenge to people to come and see the way of love, even to a Good Friday death. On the second day, John 1:43-51, Jesus calls Nathanael and Philip as his first disciples, to which they respond, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God, the King of Israel." It becomes an affirmation of the way of Jesus as the way of God. On the third day, our reading this morning, Jesus turns water into wine. This transformation of the water of life into fine wine is the story of new life, the story of resurrection. It is Easter Day. It is in this context that we now hear this story from John 2:1-11. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now standing there were 6 stone jars for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water," and filled them to the brim. He said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward." So they took it. When the steward tasted the water that had become wine and did not know where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the steward called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church. Thanks be to God.